Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Preacher. I wanted to put something out today, but as you can probably tell, my voice is destroyed. I'm not so much ill as just wrecked my voice. If I go a bit louder, it goes, it's ruined. But it should be fine in the next couple of days, so hopefully we'll get back to do some videos. What I wanted to do is answer the questions that a lot of you have been asking me, which was about my PC upgrade and showing off some parts and stuff, nerding out a little bit. So we're going to get a little bit geeky for the next few minutes. I'll show you some glory shots of the new PC. We'll have a nice drink while we chat about it. So my goal was to get ready for the next gen stuff. I waited until the consoles had come out to kind of get a feel of what the new games were going to be. Everyone has different goals of what they want their gaming to PC to be like. It's always important to set a goal and not just go, I want the best, because you're going to end up spending a lot of money. What are you wanting to use your PC for, and what do you think is good gameplay? So for me, 60 FPS while I'm running things like DxTory, while I'm recording, all that kind of stuff. I want 60 FPS in the game. I want it so that if I don't get 60 FPS, that's probably because the game is optimized badly. It's comfortably running at 60 FPS. That is my tolerance level for gaming. That's when I enjoy it. Anything less than 60, I get really irritated. I can see the problems. I can see the frame lag, and it's not comfortable for me to play. Like I say, everybody else is different, so it's entirely up to you. But I would say if you're playing at 30 FPS on a PC, you should be thinking about upgrading, because there's a much better experience to be had on PC rather than console. If you are living in a sort of 30 FPS sort of way, even in Warcraft, try and think about upgrading just a little bit to try and get 60 out of the game you play the most. If you just play World of Warcraft, it's not expensive to get a gaming PC that can run it at 60 FPS. It's really not. It's much cheaper than getting a new console, for damn sure. It's a whole different experience. It will in fact increase your DPS and healing. I don't care what anybody says. Once you go to a system where the gameplay during a raid is super smooth, you can react a lot quicker. You just can. It's as simple as that. So I wasn't getting that performance on my old PC. And I thought it was just a graphics card issue, so I bought a 7990. That didn't work out. I was actually bottlenecking it on the processor, which then turned into basically a brand new rig, which I'm fine with because it should last me a couple of years. That's what I'm going for, a couple of years. So I'm basically building a brand new rig in 3 phases. I wanted to show you all 3 phases. We're going to have processor and motherboard. Then we're going to have cooling, and then a graphics card going in last. Unfortunately, phase 1 and 2 has already taken place. We got, luckily enough, to get phase 2 done. The cooling system all put in over the weekend. The parts came early. We were going to do them over the new year for my birthday, but we've put them in now. So processor and stuff, it's all about what you're going to use your PC for. If you're going for a straight up gaming PC, you probably want a high-end i5 processor, but I'm obviously rendering all the time. Mine's not only a gaming PC, it's also an editing PC, a lot of video editing. We're doing a lot of 3D stuff for Way of the Warrior 2, which is kind of a pain in the ass on my current system. So I needed to bear that in mind. As such, I went with the i7-4770K, which is Intel's kind of top of the line. It's the unlocked version. We're going to do a little bit of overclocking. I've done a little bit already. We'll talk about that later. So I went with the i7-4770K. The motherboard, I don't have every box. I'm sorry, I threw some of the boxes away. This is the motherboard I went with, the Maximus 6 Hero. It's not the top of the range, which is like the Rampage Extreme. I didn't need top of the range. Again, it's all about value. I've got a budget to stick to. I couldn't pick up everything that I wanted for the new rig straight away. We're going to have to wait for a couple of parts, but this is the motherboard I went with. It is in the Republic of Gamers family, which means it comes with a really nice tweaking options for overclocking, but it doesn't have like a lot of PCI slots. I don't need a lot of PCIe slots. It has enough for what I want, which is like a capture card, 1 graphics card. It has room for 2 should I need it, and a sound card. And it runs really, really well. It comes with some really nice BIOS options for tweaking and overclocking. And a lot of, more importantly, this is what I wanted, was it comes with a fan expert piece of software, which really automatically controls your fans. If you check it out, it actually comes with some really cool stuff to get super silent fans. So first and foremost, I need a gaming/work PC. Silence is of the utmost importance. It needs to be absolutely quiet as a mouse. It needs to be super silent. As such, fan expert and stuff like that is what I went with. On that note, we replaced the stock fans that came in the case of the cans with these. If anybody's ever watched Linus Tech Tips, you will know what these are. These are Noctua NF F12s. These are fans that you actually replace the fans that come in your case with, and they're rubber. So these things will go sort of 2,000 to 3,000 RPMs. They won't make a noise. They just will not make any noise, which is super awesome. So we've got 5 of them in there right now. The 2 fans on the front of my case and the one behind the hard drives, they're still the stock fans, so I'm going to replace them later. These are about £16 each. These are something provided by my brother. My brother managed to get hold of these for me. So I'm looking to get 3 more of those to make the whole system. If it spins up, I say my system is super silent. We'll talk about that again later. But if it does get to maximum power, then it is the front non-Noctua fans that will actually make some kind of noise. In terms of the case, it's an Inwin GR1, not the Inwin Grown. I chose this because I didn't want a full tower. I have to sit next to my PC, so I didn't want a full tower at all. But I wanted depth. Okay, I wanted some nice length at the back of it so it can accommodate big graphics cards should I need to put them in it. The new graphics cards tend to be pretty long, and I wanted some room for air to move around. Again, not causing heat issues or causing any sort of sound. Nice big breathy atmosphere inside. As you can see, lots of room inside as well. We went with an SSD. Emma got me this for my birthday. I've had all my birthday presents already, which is awesome. I got the Samsung 840 EVO. It's the 250 gig one, so it's not the giant one. But what it is, if you see some reviews of this, it is super reliable, and it can do a lot of rewrites. A lot of you'll know SSDs do have a shelf life of how many times they can be written to, and they're deleted and rewritten to, and eventually that can cause problems in them in the future. This is basically acting as a boot drive and major application drive. The only things installed on this are things that I'm very unlikely to remove anywhere in the near future. So Adobe Premiere, Photoshop, which is a killer if you've ever had to deal with Adobe licensing, by the way. Those of us who have a purchased copy, Adobe is a total nightmare. After Effects, and of course any 3D stuff that we're using as well. And the only game that's on this is World of Warcraft. That's it, because I'm unlikely to be removing WoW in the near future. Any of my big games are all moved to another drive, because it's only 250 gig. If you're looking at things like Battlefield 4, it's like 40 odd gigs. You're going to start filling your SSD super fast. With this combination of things, I'm about to get, I said on the web show, my boot time is from off to workable desktop, which means I can actually use my desktop. Sorry, I'm dropping that. 11 seconds. From completely off in the morning, on 11 seconds, it's on the desktop, which is pretty fucking awesome. The next thing we did was water cooling, okay? This was like the second thing we wanted to do, which was the cooling process. We've water cooled, as you'll see in some of the shots, you'll see the water cooling, and I'll show you that now. And in other shots, the water cooling's not on there, because that happened recently. We put a H100i Corsair water cooling CPU kit on it. It's only the CPU I'm water cooling. I'm not going to be water cooling the graphics card, which we haven't got yet. Again, it's just a budget thing. You don't want to splurge a lot of money on a PC in one go. Just spread it over the next few months. Now, this simply water cools the CPU, which has allowed me to overclock it. I've gone for a 4.2 gigahertz overclock on my CPU. It can do more. It can go to 4.6. I did try it at 4.6. It was stable, which was great. But I only need like 4.2. I want this to last a long time. That's what my main goal is. I don't want to be replacing this for at least 2 or 3 years. I'm hoping to have a pretty solid system for 2 or 3 years. So right now, 4.2 gigahertz is what I'm running on the 4770K. And it's running like a dream. That's getting about 70 Celsius when it's at maximum load. If you're using some sort of stress testing software like Prime 95, that's giving out like 70 degrees. More than happy with that. Well within the tolerance level, and that's where it's at right now. What we're doing in the future, new graphics card. Looking for the 780 Ti. I want a single GPU. I like single GPUs. I don't like SLI and whatnot. It just tends to create unnecessary problems. I really hate the idea. I'm quite frugal with my money. Like I say, making each of these choices has been like, this is because I need it. Like I needed the i7 for its multi-threading capabilities while I'm doing rendering and video software. That's why I chose that. So I'm going for a single GPU, which is the 780 Ti. It's actually better value for money than the 780. It is more expensive, but it's actually more performance per pound, okay? More performance per dollar, whatever you want to put the value on. So it's a great value for money. It runs like a dream. It should accommodate everything that's coming out, any of the bigger games that's coming out. Maybe Star Citizen. We'll have to see how Star Citizen runs. I'm looking forward to it. But so far, it looks like it's going to be able to accommodate everything and hopefully get some solid FPS. There's always going to be some game that pushes your system too far if you push the settings too high, but we'll wait and see on that. I have no problem turning things down. I just don't want SLI, or I don't want to do Crossfire, purely because I hate the idea that if games don't support it, I might have something that's worth like £500 or $1,000 actually doing nothing. I think that is disgusting. I really do. I think it's a bit ballsy and a bit show off. When it works great. But when it doesn't work, you have £1,000 doing nothing. It's a paperweight. That makes me physically ill. It makes me really physically ill. So next process is going to be the graphics card. Then we're going to be looking to change up the monitors. There's still a spare monitor needed on that machine. We're still using the 14-incher on the second machine over there, which is like the Gamer Dad's PC. So we're actually doing a lot more editing on there now. Could do with a decent monitor on it. So I'm going to get a 120Hz monitor on here eventually, but obviously not until the graphics card gets changed, because it's a waste of time. And then I didn't talk about the memory. The memory I went with on this board is the Corsair Vengeance. I actually got the low profile memory because I wasn't really sure how long the water cooling was going to take and if we were going to do it at all. And my original heatsink is huge. So I got the low profile 1600 megahertz Corsair Vengeance in cerulean blue. Yeah. It's cerulean blue. That's all right. It has got room to go to 32. Not really going to see the benefit of that immediately. So it's kind of one of those things that, yeah, I've got the slots. I could stick another 16 in. It's not going to give me a big gain. Upgrading your PC is all about what's going to give you the biggest gain for, you know, per pound. What's going to give you the biggest gain per pound. So right now, that's where we're at with the PC. I'll say a little bit of quiet on the videos for the next couple of days until I fix my voice. I'm being quite calm. That's why the microphone's so close to my mouth, so I can be quite quiet. I do sound a bit like a Dalek. I apologize for that. But I'll keep you updated. For those of you who are interested in this, I hope you have a good couple of days. I'm going to be writing. I'm going to spend my day resting my voice and writing several episodes of stuff that we're doing for over Christmas. Make sure I'm just tweaking it. I don't usually get a lot of time to do a lot of extended writing. Usually write it, produce it, write it, produce it. But I'm going to take these couple of days to work some things out and make everything better. I hope you have a good day, guys. I will see you as soon as I can. Bye.